I had put together an outfit. I wanted to experiment with like going for a walk. This guy gets off of the bus and he starts charging at me. And he has a look that says, "You're gonna die." And I started sprinting as fast as I could in the other direction. And he caught up to me and he tried to push me into the street in front of the bus.
What a fucking piece of shit.
And I was like, okay, well, I'm never going outside in a skirt again.
If you're a woman who has been in a very scary situation with a man where he's been violent to you, and there are people around that aren't even there helping you, trans women are getting that on a regular fucking basis.
Yeah.
Like to a degree that you couldn't even comprehend.
Or there was a time I just like went to Griffith Park. 3 men brought out their phones and started recording me and were circling me and started saying shit like, "You're not allowed to be here. Families bring their kids here." This was in 2024 when people were trying to get footage of trans people being crazy so that they could use it as rage bait on the internet.
That's another privilege point cis people have. When that happens to you, you're in a situation now where you cannot react the way I can react. I can flip out and say, "Fuck you, get that camera out of my face." I could hit the camera if I want.
And people will cheer for you if that video goes viral.
Women will. Men will, call me whatever. If you do it, everyone that sees it, men and women, will go, "Oh, that's a mentally ill man. Look, the trans people are crazy."
Yeah, Nazis are pretty fucking gay. It's the Podcast. Where we believe in science. We don't believe in God. Only science. Science will solve all the problems. That's the trans agenda.
Trans people in science gonna save the day.
Solve the problems with us. With science. Science, bitch.
Science and my trans agenda. I'm gonna turn you trans.
Hello!
Hi.
And welcome. This is the Gender Yap Podcast.
Gender Yap Podcast.
I am a yapper named Chloe.
And I'm a yapper named Laura.
Today, we are going to continue on our extravagant journey of experiencing misogyny in the world.
Yeah, it just never ends.
It just literally never... We could talk about it for 1,000,000 hours. We're not going to.
Yeah.
This will be the final part.
Yes.
But we're going to talk more about transmisogyny. We're going to talk about misogyny in general. We're going to talk about intersectionality in a lot of ways. And we're going to just really take you down the path of what it's like to be a woman in a patriarchal world.
I'll tell you right now, it's not great.
It's not amazing. There are parts that are amazing. We'll talk about joy in another episode.
Yeah, kind of.
We should do that.
Cleanser. Yeah, we should.
We should talk about feminine joy.
Yes.
But until then, you should like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell.
Yes. Leave a comment.
We love comments. Shoot us an email, thegenderyap@gmail.com. And if you just can't get enough of us and you like need an extra fix of Chloe and Laura, follow our Patreon.
Yeah. Hang out with us there.
We do all kinds of stuff. We hang out. We have random conversations. We play Magic the Gathering.
We do get ready with me's and do story times
there. Those things too.
We got bloopers and outtakes.
And deleted scenes is a new addition where sometimes we just talk too long and some of it is off topic. And so we just
throw it in there.
Just throw that onto the Patreon.
One of the only times my ADHD comes in handy.
Yeah. And people have so far responded very well to the deleted scenes and said that it's worth the Patreon subscription alone for the deleted scenes. So like, if you believe the person who wrote that comment, go check it out.
Yeah.
I feel like we are good to go.
Let's get into it.
Let's go.
I knew trans women had it worse, but like because I live with you and you're my best friend, we're very close. Even when we weren't living together, you'd fill me in on a lot of stuff. Like the things that happen to you, it's transmisogyny, right?
Definitely.
It happens more frequently. And on average, it's more violent more often than not.
Yeah.
Like some of the interactions you have
I will talk about some of those.
Yeah.
For sure.
But the interactions you have, especially with men on a regular basis, it'll be in broad daylight in front of other people. And men will literally threaten your life in broad daylight in front of other people. Like, it's no big deal. And I'm not saying it doesn't happen to cis women, but, like, the frequency and, like, how quickly it escalates to violence with you, it's horrifying.
Transitioning was indeed a wake-up call in a lot of ways. Like, before you transition, it's easy to say, and this applies to all things, not just being trans, but like race, gender, class, whatever. Like, it's so easy for people to say, like, I understand what it would be like, where you can think through it and you can process, like, what it might feel like if something like that was to happen, or if like that was happening all the time. And like before I transitioned and before I started coming out and doing any of it, I, in my head, believed that I had put together and like sort of figured out what the experience of being a trans person in the world might be like. And I will just say with 100% confidence and certainty that unless you have actually experienced something, you fucking don't know what it is like. You can only intellectualize so far.
Yeah.
And you can only base it off of experiences you have actually had. So you're still going to take something where you're like, yeah, that would make me feel bad. You're going to think of a time that you felt bad.
Yeah.
And you're going to be like, that would make me feel like that time. But it doesn't. It's a new feeling.
Yeah.
It's a wholly different feeling.
Yeah.
It's a mix of like 100 feelings, many of which you've never had before.
Yeah.
And so upon transitioning, especially, it was a lot worse in the early days when I was able to pass less.
Yeah.
Because like passing isn't my goal.
Yeah.
Being safe is.
Yeah.
Which requires passing.
Yeah.
Like so much of there's like the feminist movement being like girls should be allowed to have armpit hair, and it's like I agree, but if I do,
It's going to put a target on your back.
I am going to get harassed so much more, not just from the men,
From women, too.
The women, you're going to criticize me for not being woman enough, and you're going to claim that I'm still a man and that I'm upholding whatever bullshit, because like it just doesn't translate. It just doesn't translate. Like
if I grow out my armpit hair and I walk down the street, I might get a guy that goes, ew, gross.
Right.
And like maybe give me some shit about it. If you do it, someone might try to kill you. That's the difference.
Yes, exactly. Or like if I feel like it's been 2 days since I shaved my legs and you can kind of see the nub sticking out, I'm like, I can't go outside, or I have to wear pants, or I have to shower. Like I have to.
Yeah.
Because if I don't, it's going to be a whole fucking problem. And I had to learn that over the years as in the early stages of transition when I'm just like trying on new outfits, and it's fucking mortifying. I remember I was living in Van Nuys, maybe one of the worst places you could be doing this type of thing. I would do it in the apartment and feel good. And at a certain point, after several months of like getting looks together and trying to figure out my shit with like no help and no experience and nothing.
Presenting femme is hard. I think
hard as
people
fuck.
like men do not understand, like trans men usually get it if they've ever had to perform that.
Yeah.
But like men really don't understand how expensive it is just to even like do a full face of makeup, how like the skill level you have to like do it well, picking out an outfit that looks good on your body type and matches your like, because if you're a woman and you do that wrong, even a cis woman, it'll draw attention to, but if you're a trans woman and you're not doing any of that right, it really puts a target on your back for people.
And so at a certain point, I had put together an outfit. I didn't necessarily think I looked good in it, but I was like, this is a woman outfit, and I wanted to experiment with like going for a walk. So I decided to just walk around the block. Very short walk, just like a quarter mile in total, just around the block. I get to one of the corners, sort of on a main street, and this guy gets off of the bus. He sees me and he starts charging at me. And he has a look that says, "You're gonna die." And I started sprinting as fast as I could in the other direction, which was very hard because of the shoes I was wearing. Were not good for running.
Yeah.
And
I have this joke that they invented heels for women so we can't run away.
it's probably not wrong. So I like got down the street a little ways and he caught me and he caught up to me, and there was another bus coming and he tried to push me into the street in front of the bus.
What a fucking piece of shit. I hope he gets hit by a bus. Fuck this guy.
I nearly fell into the street, like caught myself on a pole. Thankfully, there was a pole there. And I like swung around the pole and just took my shoes off and ran home barefoot.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, I'm never going outside in a skirt again. Like, that was fucking terrifying. And so then I just started limiting my feminine presentation in going outside to like hours where there was not going to be people. So I would, experiment going for my walks like at 3 o'clock in the morning when there's genuinely no people around. And I know that Luna probably misses those times because I would always take her with me and we would go for little mini adventures at midnight. And I think that's where the idea of the midnight snack for her came from. But because at midnight she's like, hey, I'm getting
Yes, she is.
I'm getting a little antsy for some hunger.
Give me a
Because I used to every day. The clock struck midnight. It's also the day rollover for Pokemon Go, which I used to play. Put on something a little femme, and it'd be like, yeah, let's go for a little jaunt.
Yeah.
And I was doing that. I moved out of that place. At this point, I'd been on hormones for like a year, maybe a little less than a year. And I had moved to Glendale, and I was going for one of my little midnight walks. I did not have Luna because she had been stolen. I was literally practicing routes that I would like to take her on for when she got here. So I was just wandering around being like, where would be a good place to go? Like, where's she going to like? What places don't have too much food in the street so she's not going to like eat a bunch of garbage or whatever. And I was out and I was walking down the street and a man with his hood up just is like walking towards me. And I left some room on the sidewalk. He's going to walk over there. I'm going to walk over here. It's going to be fine. But like after somebody tries to push you in front of a bus, you're a lot more alert to every person and what they're doing and thinking.
Yeah.
I like sort of moved over to give him more space and he just turned towards me and he started approaching me and I was like, okay, I'm going to keep walking, but I'm going to try to figure out like what the fuck is about to happen. And he got close and he just pulled out a lighter and turned it on and tried to set me
Light you on fire, which is fucking unhinged.
And I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? I just like screamed.
I hope all the men in these stories get hit by a bus. Like, it makes me so mad.
Yeah, it would be tremendous if that happened to these people.
This is a thing I want to say too. Like, if you're like a cis woman that's maybe trying to deconstruct your transphobia, or you're like rage watching us, I don't know. But like, if you're a transphobic cis woman, a man that treats a trans woman that way out in public, he will treat us that way behind closed doors. Transphobic men, especially the very violent ones, they hate women. And if you are siding with those men that have those talking points and beliefs and take actions like that, you're just causing more harm to all of us. That guy might not try to like do that to you in public. Maybe he will. Sometimes guys do that to us too. It's more frequent with trans women. But like, if he won't do that to you in public, but will do it to her, if he gets you in a room alone, he'll do fucked up shit to you too.
100%.
When I meet a man and he says transphobic shit, I automatically note it as a red flag, and I'm like, you hate women.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. They just feel safer doing it to us because like society's screaming that we're men.
Yeah.
It's okay for men to hurt men. It's just not okay for men to hurt women. So they're like, this is an excuse where I can get out all of my rage against women, but it's not technically a woman, so I can get away with it.
Yeah.
Like, it's brutal. We're going to take a quick break from the episode to tell you about a sponsor that we really stand by.
TComfiFits.
TComfiFits.
The best way to fight capitalism is to destroy the corporations that are screwing us all over.
I mean, I do agree with that.
And the way we do that is supporting smaller businesses, especially if they're owned by queer people.
Especially a queer-owned small business. And TComfiFits is indeed a queer-owned business with trans people in mind. Truly and genuinely, I wouldn't support telling you all this stuff if I didn't actually stand by it. Like, I love the pants.
Yeah, they look great too.
They look awesome. I got tucking jeans where they have like a tucking thing like built into it. They make my ass look amazing and the fit is really nice and they flare out and they're like long enough, which it's so hard to find pants that are long enough as a trans person who is tall.
Yeah, I'm a cis tall girl. I want them to make clothing for cis girls too so I can get those because my pants are always capris. Look at these bitches. These are pants. They're capris.
Yeah, my pants are also always capris.
Yeah, but they look amazing. I got a boxer set and a bra. The bra has like binding technology, so it like flattens your chest for you. So if you're like a trans mask or a trans guy, Or it's like if you're just a cis woman that doesn't give a shit if you got boobs or not, you could also buy them. But yeah, they're very comfortable and the pants look amazing.
Yeah.
They make gender-affirming outfits.
I stand by them. And we have a promo code. If you type in the Gender Yap
dash BOGO. We'll put it up on the screen.
the Gender Yap dash BOGO. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a buy one, get one. Is it buy one, get one free?
Yeah.
That's fucking amazing.
Yep.
So it's basically you can get two things for the price of one thing.
Yeah.
Or just assume, you're getting two things that are both half off, which is incredible.
Yeah.
Get yourself some trans-affirming, trans-made clothes from TComfiFits.
Also, if you're somebody who is still kind of closeted where you're living and it's not super safe, their packaging is very discreet as well.
Oh yeah, you'd never know what's in there.
Yeah. And now back to our show.
And now back to the show. Or there was a time I just went to Griffith Park. I was literally just standing there. And three men brought out their phones and
I remember
started
when that happened.
started recording me and started approaching me and were circling me and started saying
so scary.
shit like, "You're not allowed to be here." And I was like, "I come here all the time." And they were like, "But you're not allowed to be here." And I was like, "Why am I not allowed to be here?" And they were like, "Families bring their kids here."
I bet that's projection. I bet all three of those guys are fucking
Oh,
pedophiles.
100%.
All of the guys screaming about queer people being pedophiles are always the fucking pedophiles.
Yeah. And this was in 2024, sort of shortly before the election, when people
remember-
were trying hard to get footage of trans people being crazy so that they could use it as rage bait on the internet. And I was like, I'm going to give these guys fucking nothing. I'm just going to stand here and insist upon nothing because I know what they're doing. They're trying to get a reaction so that they can post it and get a bunch of clicks saying this trans person loses it at the park.
Yeah, so that's another privilege point cis people have that I want to point out, because there is a huge crisis of fucking psycho men recording women in public and bothering and harassing them. But when that happens to you, you're in a situation now where you cannot react the way I can react. I can flip out and say, "Fuck you, you're a fucking ugly bitch, fuck you, get that camera out of my face." I could hit the camera if I want.
And people will cheer for you if that video goes viral.
Women will. Men will, call me whatever. But I'll have women on my side. If you do it, everyone that sees it, men and women, will go, "Oh, that's a mentally ill man. Look, the trans people are crazy." That's the shit you would get for it. That is a privilege. I have the privilege where if I defend myself, I'm going to get less backlash than you do. I remember after the election, you were getting hate crimed every fucking day for weeks.
It was something.
And I know
even if it was just a drive-by
Yeah, no, it was it's something about after he got into office, all of his supporters went crazy. They were
feeling empowered.
I had a couple of my black friends at work were getting extra racism thrown their way by all of the MAGA guys. They were coming into work with MAGA hats on and just making everyone uncomfortable. They were the bigotry coming off those people was disgusting.
Yeah.
I went out and bought after you started getting harassed after the election, I went out and bought because I was so sick of hearing every day you'd come home and some fucking bullshit had happened. Every fucking day.
Yep. Somebody pulled a gun on me one time. I'd literally going for a walk.
Yeah.
Just
and
walking down the
broad
street.
daylight. No one's doing anything about that. Just crazy.
It's still it's not they're hate criming me anymore, but it is a daily occurrence that I experience transphobia walking my dog.
Yeah.
Just in the neighborhood. Just people who, look at me with this face.
I'd make the face back. I'd be so terrible. I'd get if I was a trans woman because I would be such a fucking bitch about it. I would just be such a bitch to everybody and eventually someone would me. I'd be so bad about it. I have no self-control. I don't know how you fucking deal with it. It would drive me crazy.
Yeah. Or I have people who were kind of cool with me who started being hella weird lately. And it's very specifically cis gay white men who have suddenly I don't know if they heard something about trans people and now they're weird around me, or the majority of our neighbors just won't look at me, or they'll cross the street if they see me coming. It's crazy the amount of daily avoidance, the way that society just tells me constantly, you are not welcome here.
I remember going on a hike with you that one time because you had been complaining about that to me. So I was I'm just going to kind of scope the area while we're hiking. And there would be some weird dude that would just we'd be walking by and they would just be staring at you. And I would just sit there and stare at them until they noticed. Almost every time they would notice me staring, lock eyes with me on accident, and then look at the ground. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Pussy, fuck you. Like,
Yeah.
fucking who raised you?
But
like,
it's the very specific form of misogyny called transmisogyny that is the intersection of transphobia and misogyny.
yes.
And it is a uniquely horrifying experience.
Yeah. And I think like for any cis women that want to like try to understand, I know for me, because I was a for years, I have been in situations at my job where I have had men be violent with me because they don't see me as a person. They don't care they're doing it in front of people because they don't think anyone cares.
Right.
I've definitely been in some of those like more violent situations. The difference is when I leave the club and I put on regular clothes, it's not like I have a tattoo on my head that says, yeah, I'm a fucking hate crime, you know, like no one knows. But also like I've had very scary violent incidents with men in broad daylight before. I have had that. It's just not nearly as frequent as what trans women get. So, like, if you're trying to empathize with this situation, if you're a woman who has been in a very scary situation with a man where he's been violent to you, and there are people around that aren't even there helping you, trans women are getting that on a regular fucking basis.
Yeah.
Like, to a degree that you couldn't even comprehend. I got secondhand stress when she was going through that. Like, and it wasn't even happening to me. I think a lot of cis women have a hard time wrapping their head around the fact that trans women have it worse because we're dealing with a certain degree of, like, violence from men already. So we can't even fathom it being worse, but it is.
Yeah, and then especially the TERFs love to get on and claim, like, you don't know what it's like, you've never experienced it. And it's like, bitch.
They're experiencing it times 100. And
I am experiencing it. I promise you I'm experiencing it.
Like, way more than we are in such a short period of time. This is the thing, too. You went from a situation where people were perceiving you as a white guy, and you didn't have to be vigilant and, like, be aware of your surround all the time, and then you just get sprung into it. And it's worse when you, like, just start transitioning. The hormones haven't taken effect. You don't pass. You don't know how to put a look together. And that's the worst of it. And you're not prepared for it.
Yeah.
That's why so many trans women pass away. And the one thing I've noticed, a lot of trans women that get murdered, it's usually black trans women.
It is.
That's very common.
It's usually.
Because a lot of black women in general are already denied from womanhood because they're masculinized. And so it's so much worse for black trans women. But like most of the trans women, like across all races that get murdered, they tend to be like newly out trans girls or trans women that just like really don't pass. Because that's when it draws the most attention to you.
Yeah.
And that's what the propaganda is feeding people about trans women is they're just basically a man in a dress. None of them pass. They always use that as like, oh, this is what a trans woman looks like. They're all like this.
Yeah. Well, there's also the fact that like the people who get generically attacked the most is probably black men. There's been so many stories lately of like, there was the one of like 4 white guys and their black
Nolan
friend
Wells,
went out to went out to an island and the white boys returned and they all said they have no idea what happened.
Yeah.
They're doing that shit all the time. And if they're looking at a trans woman, they're seeing in their hateful eyes a black man who is performing femininity, which is like 2 things that they hate more than anything in the world.
It's misogyny
black
with racism with
and woman.
Transphobia.
You mix black man and woman together and they're like, all of my rage sensors are going off.
Yeah.
And like, I just get the woman. I don't get the black man part. Like, you know, and I'm not going to ever claim that I know what that experience is like. If it's this bad for me, I fucking can't imagine. And I know that because when I thought I could imagine what this would be like, I was fucking wrong. So like, I don't know. I don't know what that's like, and I have to imagine it's a whole lot fucking worse.
Yeah.
Because I know that we live in a racist fucking country.
Yeah. One thing I've noticed about, like, the violence towards trans women, because it is a good chunk of the time, it's only if somebody knows that you're trans or thinks they're perceiving you as such. There's this thing, because a lot of, like, stupid men are, like, delusional about, like, well, I'm gonna be a protector or whatever. They are perceiving you as a woman and something feminine, which they hate, plus perceiving you as, because they don't believe you're a woman, and any masculine feature they have, they go, you're a man, so I can hit you, I can hurt you, and it'll be fine. No one cares. You know what I mean? And I think in their head they're going, well, like, I've been told by the media that you're a pedophile and you're harming women and so I'm gonna be the one to, and it's like, and
they see themselves as heroes.
Yeah. When really they're just women.
Yeah.
This is the thing that a lot of dumb turfy women that pisses me off when they act like, oh, like, fuck trans women. At some point, if like trans women aren't visible in society anymore, guess what they're gonna do? Transvestigate us now. You got an Adam's apple, you're a little too tall, your voice is a little too low, you didn't shave that day. Guess what? If somebody sees any of those features on you and decides you're a trans woman, they're gonna do the same fucking shit to you.
There's a cis woman on Threads. She has this very specific niche of content that she started making when she started noticing the ways that people were hella transphobic online, where she makes posts that like imply she might be a trans woman without saying she's a trans woman.
Yeah.
And then posts all the replies she gets to be like, hey, cis people, this is how they treat trans women. This
Yeah.
is how they talk to trans women. I'm a cis woman, and because I implied I might be trans, this is what they're saying.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna deny like these experiences, and she's always got like just like shitloads of trans girls in her comments being like, "Thank you for doing this." Like,
Another like part of the intersectionality too, because most of the time I've been clocked as a trans woman is at work when I used to be a and that's just some of the most danger I've felt, because not only am I a worker, they don't
Right.
see me as a human just by default.
Right.
And if they're trying to like determine that they think I'm a trans woman, that's an extra layer of danger. It's like, I know 2 Black trans women that both have done work. And one of them, whom I've known for a while, like some of the stories she's told me about her experience, I'm like grateful she made it out alive. You know,
literally.
it's like there's so many layers to it depending on like what are you doing for work. A lot of trans women get pushed into sex work because no one will hire them, especially for Black trans women. Like, do you pass or do you not pass? There's just so many layers to it, and it's horrifying.
And it's not always violence in the ways that people are transphobic and weird and misogynistic. I had a boss when I was working my Trader Joe's job, which I started before hormones, and I was Chloe. We had this boss who came in sort of towards the end of when I worked there and was a part of why I was like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. Because he was this like man in his probably late 50s. And for some reason, he just didn't like me. He would just sort of keep really close tabs on everything I was doing in a way that he didn't do with anyone else. Like, he was timing my bathroom breaks, and he'd be like, 3 minutes. Really? What's going on in there? Like, and all this, and to be like, well, I got someone to watch like, what's the fucking deal?
Yeah.
And like, he did not do that to any men, but he would do it with some of the other women.
Yeah.
And he would do it with me. And I was like, I mean, I guess thanks for respecting my gender, but like, what the fuck? And I had to like report him to corporate before he stopped. Because there was a day I saw him having a conversation with a man who was supposed to be working the same place I was at the register. They were talking in the front about basketball. And I timed their conversation. And it was 7.5 minutes that neither of them were working and they were talking about basketball.
You're so petty and I love it.
And I showed that to him at our little meeting where I was, and I was like, this entire time, you guys were
You're
talking
giving me shit
about
about-
basketball.
Yeah.
But I'm not allowed to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Are you out of your mind? And I think he stopped underestimating me at that point.
Yeah.
And he like never fucking talked to me again. And I was like, great, leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
I hate you.
Did he stop harassing the other women?
I think he did.
Good.
Yeah. There was one girl I know who was like, I don't know, he hasn't done that in a while actually one day. And I was like,
See, that's another thing I love about trans women. You guys do kind of the same shit I do in certain situations where like I will stand up for myself when people are misogynistic, especially now that I'm older. A lot of cis women don't. They're brainwashed not to stand up for themselves. And because trans women go through a period of time in their life where they're like, no one treated me like that before. This is bullshit. It's misogyny. It's something I respect about trans women a lot is like, as long as they're not like being violently attacked, a lot of the times they will check that shit. Like, we have to stand with trans women.
I
you know?
agree.
Yeah. Like, obviously you do.
And then the other like big change, like there's like little stuff that like people will talk over me a lot more. People will dismiss my experiences as feeling unrealistic a lot more.
Gaslight you about your
Gaslight
feelings.
me about my feelings. Like, you really get a sense of it online. Like, online, the way people comment on my shit, the way people DM me, it has totally shifted.
Yeah.
And I know it's not just misogyny, it's transmisogyny because everyone knows that I'm trans.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing I can do about
Yeah.
that, you know? And like it's fine, you know, like I'm fine. But it's everybody feels so comfortable commenting on my appearance in a way that fucking never happened before I transitioned. Nobody ever talked about what I looked like.
Yeah.
I could have looked like a fucking blob of nothing for all I know, because literally no one ever mentioned it ever, except for the times the only thing they'd say is, oh, you look like Bradley Cooper. Like, and now it's like every single little thing gets commented on all the time.
Yeah.
I block like 50 accounts a day on across my internet accounts of just people who are just horrible, just so shitty. And I had an experience recently, speaking of like dismissing my experiences. So there's like a fairly well-known sort of influencer guy who's Palestinian. And he was following me for a while. He followed me because I was like a person who represented the trans community, and he likes to like uplift marginalized voices, being one himself.
Yeah.
There was another sort of semi-quasi-famous celebrity person who I had an experience with where she was transphobic towards me. I made a post about the fact that she had been transphobic towards me. I just got a ton of people being like, that's impossible.
Gaslighting
She
you.
stands up for trans people all the time. And I'm like, well, she's cis and she might say things that are outwardly trans supportive, but in an actual interaction with me, an actual trans person, she treated me like this. And I don't follow her anymore.
Yeah.
And the Palestinian guy saw my post and he was like, this just doesn't check in with my understanding of her as a person. And he unfollowed me. And he no longer follows me. He's still out there.
That's really sad.
People just outwardly refuse to see when I point something out that is true. And it's because they see me as lesser than. They see me as lesser than a person. They don't respect my experience. They don't respect my opinions. They don't respect my voice. Then they feel comfortable just being like, you're ugly, you're fat, you look like a man. How's your dick hanging today? Got a little nice 5 o'clock shadow
How's your
there.
dick hanging today? I'd be like, wouldn't you like to know?
How you should
weirdo.
probably like one of the most common comments is, hey, you looking like you need a prostate exam.
What a fucking creepy thing to say. That's fucking
I get
creepy.
that. I get almost that exact comment 5 times a week. Probably.
That's so gross.
How was your prostate lately? Like some
Ew.
weird, gross shit that like is a very specific blend of transmisogyny. And it's like, I understand what you're doing. You're trying to remind me that I'm actually a man, but like,
That's also a weird sexual thing they're saying to you too.
certainly.
Like,
yes.
That's
Yeah.
like and gross.
Like, why
on
are
top
you
of that.
thinking about being inside my ass?
Yeah,
Like,
fucking
like, you
weirdo.
fucking disgusting creeps. Yeah, it's just a wild experience dealing with misogyny and transmisogyny and existing as a woman on the internet. Like, I am a teacher and I will go online and somebody will say something that's scientifically incorrect. And I will be like, hey, actually, this is the thing. And the comments are just a bunch of people being like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're just a dumb bitch.
Yeah.
Like, the people who clock me as trans say transphobic shit. The people who just think I'm a regular cis woman's account think that I'm stupid, that I couldn't possibly know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
And it's an outright just dismissal of any possibility that I could know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
And I can always tell from the comment whether they're clocking me as a trans person or not.
Yeah.
And it's weird because it's hateful comments, but the fact that more of the comments are leaning towards treating me like a cis woman, even though they're hateful, I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah, so I saw this thing online. This trans woman said sometimes, like, when trans women experience, like, regular misogyny that also cis women experience, they'll sometimes take it as gender affirming. Like, I'm not saying that you're necessarily doing that. Like, you're making the best of the situation.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah, but she was referring to, like, baby trans girls that just
Oh,
started.
sure.
And she's like, it might feel gender affirming, but it's not a good thing to, like, let people do
No,
to you.
for
You
sure.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you, but it was something this girl online had said one time. But
She's right. She's
Yeah.
right. But also, like, if you do stand up for yourself, you're potentially putting yourself in danger. So, like, if you're doing it in person, like, if
Yeah.
you're doing it on the internet, like,
yeah.
more power to you. You
Yeah.
know, like, do
Safer that
whatever.
way.
Like, I'm just
Yeah.
going to block the person either
Yeah.
way, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, even mean in like dating, because I think she was referring mostly to like straight trans women that like kind of just came out, where they'll like date some guy that's just treating them like shit, but they think they're being
Right.
affirmed in
That
their
is
gender,
very
but it's like,
specific.
no, you're experiencing like regular misogyny from this guy, or
Yeah.
like it's a tricky thing, and
Yeah.
you're going from a situation where you were living that opposite experience and then
Yeah.
going into a heavy oppression that you don't know how to navigate.
yeah. Well, when it comes to dating, like, I feel like largely what I'm getting is like an infantilization thing, where like the vast majority of people that I have hit on or expressed interest in have done this very specific sort of thing where they're like, oh, this sort of like, it's so cute that you would think that I would be into that. Like, oh, you're so sweet. Like, absolutely not, but that's adorable. I have gotten that so many times. Like, they're just not seeing me as like a person. They're not seeing me as a woman. They're not seeing me as any of the things that I am. They're seeing me as like maybe someone they could like get along with, you know? And a lot of them are like, hey, like, I don't know, you seem cool, but like, no, you know? And like, if I'm feeling myself, if I'm feeling confident and I go out and someone's like, aw, no. And it's like, okay. And it's happened frequently enough that it's weird. And I don't even know if that's even misogyny or if that's just like transphobia, because again, it's mostly women doing it.
Yeah, I think it's probably like transphobia.
It's just transphobia
Yeah.
coming from women. Yeah. It just feels like a lot of people see me as like not an adult, like not a fully formed sexual adult human being with desire, and like I still haven't quite figured out what to do with that.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's easier to just be like, I'm just not even going to participate. I'm just
Yeah.
not even going to try. I'm not even going to, it's like, what's the fucking point? You know? Because every time I've tried, I'm met with either hostility or infantilization. At the same exact time, specifically from men, I am being sexualized so much more.
Yeah.
Every single thing about sex and dating is so overwhelming and confusing, where it's like the people that I have basically no interest in are like seeing me as a sex object or like a fetish material thing for them. And then the people that I am expressing human interest in are like, but you're like not a person. So like everyone's objectifying me in a way. Honestly, comment below if you have feedback or
Yeah.
ideas, because like I don't know what's going on.
It's interesting. So, like, something I noticed, so, like, around the election, because I was still dancing back then, I noticed this thing happening where people at the club specifically, and it was mostly men doing it, would bring up trans people out of absolutely fucking nowhere to me. And I have this theory on it, because I thought about that a lot. I'm like, why was that happening specifically? Because it stopped happening after Trump started fucking shit up and they didn't have the, like, fuel to add to the, like, trans propaganda fire they were trying to create. But, like, for a while, like, almost every other day, I'd have a customer that would just bring up trans people and then bring up trans women. My theory is trans women are portrayed as sexual objects in porn.
That is true.
And it's very much from a man's perspective because a lot of porn is written by
And even
men.
outside of porn, we're seen as we're doing it as a fetish.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's always connected to a sexuality in some way.
Women are just sexualized in general, and then trans women are hypersexualized because there's no representation of like just regular trans women in media, and you're also a small demographic, so like everybody knows a cis woman. Not everybody knows a trans woman personally.
Yeah.
But my theory is, because when you're walking into a club as a man, you're walking into a sexually charged environment. Women are wearing like strings and hardly any clothing, so your mind is immediately going to a place where your brain is when you're like off to porn, right?
Right.
My theory is every single one of those guys that would bring up trans women specifically, they off to trans women.
Almost certainly. Yeah.
There was one guy in particular, I'll never forget. I'm sitting down, not even talking to the guy, and he comes up and he's like, hey, you're like really pretty. And I'm like, oh, thanks. And he's like, hey, I got a question. You see that girl on stage? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, do you think her ass is real? And I was like, I don't know. it looks real to me. It might not be. I don't know why. He was like, oh, like, it's just hard to tell, like all the plastic surgeries women are getting. And then you got guys that are, getting surgeries to be women and like they're tricking us and all of this stuff. And I was like, oh, this is very telling. You jack off to trans women and it's heavy on your mind because of the environment you're in right now. And so your conscience is just like, I have to talk about this. And like, they're definitely tricking us. I'm not into trans women. It's like a weird shame they have about it.
Yeah, because they think we're men and they think it makes them gay and they're terrified to be gay.
And this is the thing too, the way trans women are portrayed in it's literally a woman with a dick and always are either getting by a man or they're a cis woman like a man would.
Yes.
It's like a very specific, like the
Yes.
guys in are trying to make them seem like men that just look like hot girls rather than women.
Yep.
And there's nothing wrong with like trans girls that like want to shit a bitch. Like I'm a bitch that likes to people. You know what I mean? But like,
But I don't think it's the majority of trans women.
it's not. Yeah.
I don't think most of us want to top.
Most women don't. Most gay people in general. There's too many bottoms.
Yeah.
I feel bad for bottoms, Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to figure that out. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like, shout out to the trans girls that top, by the way. I respect that as a cis woman that also likes to top. But so I went on a whole rant with them. I was like, listen, I am friends with a lot of trans women personally. I care very much about them and they get murdered by men quite a bit because of that rhetoric. And then I went on a whole long-winded rant about how like, if you're attracted to her, it's fine. It doesn't make you gay. They're literally on estrogen. It would make it a straight attraction. Like I just went on this whole thing with him. But when I mentioned that they get killed at higher rates than cis women do, he was like, they get killed a lot? And I was like, yeah. And it's because of stuff you're saying. I'm not saying you're going to go out and do it, but like, there's a narrative being pushed to have them killed by men that are like afraid of that. He was like, oh fuck, I didn't know that. Like the guy, it was like literally, it was like he turned into the math meme lady, But like that was happening a lot because they were walking into an environment that puts their brain in a place where they go to when they're gonna go jack off. It was like they had to fucking talk about it with somebody and also like in the process be transphobic and prove that they're like not gay. It's like a weird projection thing that they do.
It is. It absolutely is.
And none of them know any trans women. And so like I would always break here. I fucked up money doing this before, by the way, because I'm like, I would like a bag, but also like this, like even the
Sorry and thank you.
it's all good. I'm not even in the club no more. I don't care. I don't dance now. I make money moves. Anyways. But anytime I would like check them on it, even if the guy was kind of like sexualizing me because he sees me as higher than for being cis, he's more likely to hear me out. For a lot of almost every guy I've checked on transphobia, like they all kind of have a moment of like, oh fuck. It's like watching a movie about something that you don't experience ever and then meeting somebody who's lived that experience or like knows somebody they care about that has and going, oh, this makes this a real thing that I didn't just see like on TV or on my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost all of them would have a moment of like, oh fuck, they're humans, huh? Like, which is so sad. That's such a common thing with men in general, the way they treat like women as a whole. And it's so much worse for trans women because a lot of like every man knows a cis woman.
Yeah. No man sees us as human, and a shocking number of women don't either.
Yeah. And that's just internalized misogyny. Like transphobic, like that's what it was for me when I was transphobic. I've said this a million times on our show and online. A lot of the transphobia that I felt when I was transphobic came from a place of having disdain for how I'd been treated as a woman.
Yeah.
And from a place of not understanding what a trans person even was, and also just being like, why would you want to do this? It's fucking terrible. I'm having a terrible time being a woman. That's where it comes from. It's internalized misogyny that gets converted into transmisogyny and taken. And even the way they see trans men, it's like, oh, like I get, because I wasn't nearly as transphobic to trans men. Like I didn't even really think about them much at all. But I also kind of had a like feeling of like, I get why you'd want to do that. And like, it's not as dangerous to dress masculine, no matter who you are. Masculine appearance is like a lot safer. It's unsafe to be femme in this world.
Unfortunately, all too true. The last thing that I had written down as one of my misogyny experiences is more specifically a transphobia experience, I think. My Threads account mentions that I am in education. I get comments and DMs frequently threatening to call the school that I work at and accuse me of CSA.
Which is so crazy, because if anybody calls up any of your clients the parents or the students, they love you.
Yeah.
Those kids are safe with you, and you're probably
100%.
teaching them better than any other teacher.
That's what
You're
all the
very good
parents
at
say.
teaching.
Most of the time, the parents are like in the next room listening to everything we say anyway. So
Yeah.
like,
I tell you all the time, I wish you were like a teacher or tutor to me when I was a kid.
yeah,
Or like at least my friend in high school so you could help me with my fucking homework. Like,
Yeah.
it's so disgusting. And it's like, why? Because she's trans? You don't have any evidence of that. You're just going, that's so sick and insidious.
Literally.
Why
it's just
aren't you
because
doing
I'm
that with
trans.
actual pedophiles? Why aren't you getting outraged about the Epstein files and our fucking president and all of these politicians and
Because they
fucking
don't
powerful
believe any
people?
of that. They don't believe it.
A lot of people do, and they're just doing nothing about it, though, but they'll still fucking be transphobic to you. Most people have seen the files and, like, believe it.
I don't know that most people do.
Younger people.
Younger people do.
I'm not talking, fuck old people. Not all old people. I gotta stop with the boomer hate. We do have boomers that watch us, by the way,
We
and
do.
I love you guys. I don't think
Yeah.
all of you are terrible. It's just, you know, a generational thing, and
Yeah.
I'm sure you know, so
Like,
I never mean you.
Yeah. So like, it's just wild.
And that pisses me off, too, because, like, you're, like, my most harmless friend.
A lot of people
Like-
say that about me.
Like, you're like the safest friend that I have. You wouldn't hurt a fly, genuinely.
It's true.
You might ask me to hurt a fly for you if they were being shitty, but like, you wouldn't harm a fly. And
I would find a way to safely usher it outside.
yeah, all of that shit, like accusing trans people of being like pedophiles and like predators, it's not logical and stupid. It makes you look stupid
Yeah.
because you're going, you are this thing, so you must be a pedophile. Like, you fucking idiot. Now you're just helping actual pedophiles get away with stuff because you're focusing on someone who isn't fucking doing anything.
Yep.
And statistically speaking, are less likely to do something compared to cis men. It's not logical. People that do that look like idiots. They look like they have the IQ of 4. Like, you have
Yeah.
the intellect of a wet piece of toilet paper to me. Like, it's so stupid.
A wet piece of toilet paper.
Yeah.
One of the dumbest things there can be.
Yeah. And useless.
Well, do you have more? Do we have more? I don't have any more.
I think that's just about it.
I guess the takeaway is like, be nicer to trans people. Like, try to
stop being transphobic in general and stop being transmisogynistic to trans women.
Yeah.
Especially if you're another woman.
especially if you're
You
like,
are
should
literally
know-
helping patriarchy by
you
doing
should
that.
know how bad it is. You should know what it's
That's
like.
what I'm saying.
Like, it
We
sucks.
need to come together as women. We need to stop being racist to each other, homophobic to each other, transphobic to each other, pick me bitches to each
Yeah.
other. It's so fucking annoying.
All of the hate is like the reason the planet is dying. So like,
Yeah.
if we want to have a livable planet, we have to fix that. And the only way we can fix that is by taking down the systems that have enabled it from happening in the first place.
Yeah.
Which means we have to come together, which means you're going to have to stop hating everyone who doesn't look and sound and feel exactly like you
Yeah.
so that we can have a fucking chance.
Yeah.
But what do I know? I'm just a dumb trans girl.
If you're a cis woman, if you talk to trans women, you will find that you have a lot in common with them.
A shocking amount.
We have our differences in our lived experience, but there is a lot of crossover.
Shocking. A shocking number of
All
experiences.
of the pain you've experienced through misogyny, trans women have experienced that. And transmisogyny, which is so much scarier.
I don't
Like,
it.
you want to talk to a bitch that understands, talk to a trans woman.
I don't know. Maybe send this to some men in your life or something
Yeah.
who don't believe misogyny is real or don't understand what it's like to live under it.
Yeah, if you're a man that does misogyny, by the way, fucking stop. Like,
There's no way they
you
made
look
it.
like a fucking clown, too.
There's
It's
no way
stupid.
they made it to this point if they're
That's
misogynistic
true.
men.
What if they're rage watching us? You never know.
Maybe they
You
are.
never know. You got a little wiener and some tiny nuts.
It's also worth noting that like we are experiencing all of these things in an age when so much worse misogyny is in the past.
Yeah.
Like we both have our own bank accounts.
Yeah, literally.
You know, like we're
You were
allowed
able
to have
come,
a credit card.
You were able to come out. There was
I
a
was
time
able to come out.
40 years ago, if you'd come out, you would have had to get into coursework to survive, and you would have had to get surgeries you probably didn't want to pass seamlessly, and if you didn't do that, you would have gotten killed. There's a chance you would have gotten murdered if you tried to do what you did today.
I wouldn't have transitioned.
Yeah.
I would not have been approved because I would not have fit the requirements of medical transition.
Oh yeah, and you're a trans lesbian.
Because I don't want to men.
You would have just had to lie.
I would have had to lie, but you have to lie convincingly over 10 doctor's appointments over 5 years, and like you're gonna fuck that up. The point is, if shit is this bad now, I don't know, maybe like extend some empathy to your moms and grandmothers and aunts and anyone you know who like has seen the worst version of this. Because like it fucking sucks and it's useless and it's stupid and it's just like boiling women down to like purely our genitals and our reproductive capabilities
and sex objects.
And all those things are like irrelevant. Like there's so much other shit going on.
Yeah.
Like we can frolic in the park. You know?
Yeah, whatever happened to frolicking?
What happened to frolicking? We can go sit by a creek and doodle. We could play Magic the Gathering. We can do, there's so much cool shit that we are able to do. But we have to fight misogyny instead.
And racism, that's a whole nother animal.
I mean, let's not open the racism can of worms right now.
Yeah, no, we're not going to go on more tangents.
We're trying to end the episode, Laura.
That's right. Okay. Sorry. I'm sorry. We got to throw this whole system out. None of us are happy under it. Not even the cishet white men.
Garbage.
Nobody likes it.
Thank you so much for listening if you made it all the way here. And sorry if we triggered you at all. Yes. And like, subscribe, comment.
Yeah, tell us about experiences you've had with misogyny or transmisogyny.
Yeah. And if you don't feel safe leaving that information in a comment, which I understand, the internet is a terrifying place and men are nightmare creatures. Not all men, but send us an email, thegendergap@gmail.com. Let us know if you would be comfortable with us like sharing about it on the show. I feel like I want to share a little bit more listener feedback. We've been getting more listener feedback. Thank you all for that. Follow our Patreon if you want to join the club of like special inside jokes and
hanging out with us.
Just vibe with us more. We love everyone who has supported us so far in any way.
Yeah, thank you so much. It means everything.
Literally everything.
Yeah.
Thank you. We love you. And we will see you on another time.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Where we believe in science. We don't believe in God. Only science.